Welcome to Startup Yale 2025. Woo! Yeah. I'm Zoe Hunter, Managing Director at the Tsai Center for Innovative Thinking at Yale. And this year, we're celebrating 10 years of entrepreneurship, innovation, and partnerships. And I say partnerships because events like these don't happen and don't make it to 10 years without partners, staff, students, community members, and an ecosystem that is committed to this work. So this year, that's exactly what we'll be celebrating. Over this next day and a half, you'll have opportunities to engage in panels, workshops, pitches. You'll also have tons of opportunities to meet mentors, potential investors, entrepreneurs, and maybe even some co-founders. But for tonight, on behalf of the full Startup Yale team, I just want to welcome you to what will be an incredible day and a half. So thank you all for being here. And without further ado, because I know we want to get straight to the pitches, I'm going to introduce Johnny Scafidi and bring him to the stage. Johnny is the Director of Community Outreach and Engagement at Dwight Hall, and he will be emceeing your pitch tonight.
Hello, everyone. Good evening and welcome to Startup Yale 2025. Thank you, Zoe, for the introduction. I am Johnny Scafidi, and
my name is Ali Lopez. I'm a sophomore at Yale University and current co-co of the Dwight Hall Student Executive Team, and we are so excited to have you all here. We will be your MCs for the 6th iteration of the New Haven Civic Innovation Prize. And before we kick off tonight, we want to take a moment of gratitude and acknowledge all of our partners here at Startup Yale, but also the people who occupy this land before us. Johnny, if you'll take it away with our land acknowledgement.
Sure, thank you. We acknowledge that Indigenous peoples and nations, including Mohegan, Mashantucket Pequot, Eastern Pequot, Schaghticoke, Golden Hill Pagosset, Niantic, and the Quinnipiac and other Algonquin-speaking peoples have stewarded through generations the lands and waterways of what is now the state of Connecticut. We honor and respect the enduring relationship that exists between these peoples and nations and this land. We encourage you all, on behalf of the Startup Yale team, to learn more about and support Indigenous history, communities, and rights by visiting the websites listed here on the screen. Thank you for taking a moment of silence with us. A little bit of housekeeping. Just so you're aware, there are fire exits directly in front of me, one on the right, one on the left, so to your rear. We are very grateful for ALS interpretation services tonight, which is visible over here on stage right. So please feel free to move to this side in the audience, get up as you need to, take care of yourselves. We're very excited, as Ali said, to be kicking off the prize competitions for Startup Yale. 8 prizes will be awarded over $230,000 by tomorrow night. Startup Yale also features 7 panels and workshops, fireside chats, hundreds of mentoring sessions, and much more. Dwight Hall at Yale is excited to be part of this massive collaborative effort along with partners including Tsai Center for Innovative Thinking at Yale, the Yale Planetary Solutions, Yale Center for the Business and the Environment, Innovate Health Yale, Yale Center for Biomedical Innovation and Technology, Yale School of Management Program on Entrepreneurship, Yale School of Music, and Yale Ventures. Quite a bit. We are all grateful for sponsorship for all of Startup Yale from Mind Trust, and the New Haven Civic Innovation Prize would specifically like to thank Tsai City, the Community Foundation for Greater New Haven, and Dwight Hall at Yale donors for funding this prize. I want to thank, there's too many people to thank. I will thank the entire Tsai City team and Startup Yale team. All the partners have already been mentioned, but a special thank you to Claire Lineweber. A special thank you to Executive Coaching, which lent their services in supporting our pitch presenters tonight. And also a special thank you to Abby Winslow, who is just the most tremendous lead to work with on top of everybody else at Tsai City. And I know I left many, many people out there, so please forgive me.
Definitely. And I also want to provide a little bit of context to you also. If anyone's not familiar with Dwight Hall at Yale, I'd love to give you a little bit of backstory. Dwight Hall is honored to be the prize manager for the New Haven Civic Innovation Prize this year, and we look forward to an incredibly exciting event. Dwight Hall and all of Startup Yale partners are committed to fostering meaningful inclusivity and welcome your thoughts on today's event. If you have any comments, please reach out to any of our members of the Startup Yale team. We are all wearing these incredibly stylish black pullovers, so definitely just pull us aside. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, please let us know. We're here to help. Dwight Hall is Yale Center for Public Service and Social Justice. We are an independent 501c3 social profit organization whose values include a commitment to the common good, compassion, diversity, growth and learning, partnership, critical reflection, and student initiative. At Dwight Hall, we believe in change, and we believe that change is possible and worth fighting for. Especially in these uncertain times, we believe change has never been more important. And that is why we do everything in our power to make social change a reality. In this spirit, we are delighted to introduce you to our 4 finalists for the New Haven Civic Innovation Prize. Our first is Black Obsidian Health.
Stand for a moment, please.
Next, we'll hear from Shellvive. We also have Enrich Health here. And the Wealth Beacon Group. Congratulations to all of our finalists for making this far, and good luck tonight. We're so excited to hear from you. They're incredibly eager to share their stories with all of you, and they will be pitching to our judges momentarily. Each group will have 10 minutes to pitch, as well as time to respond to questions that are posed by our panel of judges. Following the pitches, the judges will retreat and deliberate to select a winner or 2. While the judges deliberate, we will ask you, the audience, to participate in a poll and select our Audience Choice Award winner. This will be a prize of $2,000, and the winner that is selected by our judging panel will not be able to qualify for this prize, so your votes really, really impact this group and will award them $2,000 they would not otherwise see. So it's very important that we participate, and we're very excited to hear all of your feedback. Amazing. So a little bit more about Startup Yale and Tsai City. This year marks the 5th iteration of the New Haven Civic Innovation Prize, which will award up to $25,000 to the best student or community-led venture or project, which is focused on benefiting the city of New Haven. This year's prize aims to catalyze student and community-led innovations that address, are informed by, and continually just help better community priorities, particularly related to continued recovery from the health and economic crises that were caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Prize applicants are community members as well as students. Last year, we celebrated the Honeybee Project as our grand prize winner and Jubilee New Haven as a runner-up. Perhaps you've enjoyed food from Havenly or experienced events run by the Key Bookstore throughout Connecticut, just to mention a few of our other past winners. So this is kind of to show to you all that it's incredibly important to these groups that they win this prize. They go on to do amazing things, though they are already doing incredible work. We really, really are excited to host these people and hopefully connect them with more opportunities. We are excited to be part of entrepreneurship and innovation across Yale and encourage you all to participate in Startup Yale's events through tomorrow, April 4th. Please see startup.yale.edu for more information.
Thank you, Allie. The New Haven Civic Innovation Prize judicial panel features 4 phenomenal leaders who have extensive experience advancing social change in the New Haven community. Their areas of expertise span across diverse issues and causes. We're privileged to have an active panel of judges who have contributed several hours of their personal time to review the applications and select the finalists who are pitching to you today. And we want to share a little bit with you about the judges so that you can meet them and get to talk to them in between events. Mr. Arthur Thomas III hails from Newark, New Jersey, and graduated from Yale Divinity School, after which point he joined the Community Foundation for Greater New Haven as the Director of Mission Investing and Entrepreneurial Ecosystems, providing the platform for using entrepreneurship and collaborative cross-sector leadership as a strategy for equity and empowerment. Currently, he's returned to a full-time entrepreneurship as founder and principal of Integrity Solutions Group, a consultancy supporting startups, nonprofit and corporate executives, and social sector leaders around developing economic development and impact investing strategies for wealth creation and upside. Please stand for a second. That's Arthur.
Next, we have Miss Emily Jong, who is a senior at Yale University. She's from Massachusetts, and she's majoring in ethics, politics, and economics. She is my predecessor, and she served for 2 years as co-coordinator of Dwight Hall's Student Exec Committee. Miss Jong also shared with me a couple of incredible fun facts. She's a big enthusiast for public transportation, specifically trains, and more specifically, subways. So catch her on the subway, she'll be having an amazing time. She's also delighted to share that her favorite stone fruit is cherries. So if you all have any cherries on you, if you have cherry-related attire or any sort of gifts that you'd like to bequeath, please, Miss Jong is in the front row.
And the cherry blossoms are coming to Worcester Square soon, so there's that as well.
Exciting time.
Genevieve Goburn Walker was raised in New Haven, Connecticut, where she attended the Educational Center for the Arts and studied theater. After graduating from Wilbur Cross High School, she earned a bachelor's degree in urban studies from Temple University in Philadelphia. Genevieve later received her MA in elementary education from Teachers College at Columbia University in New York City. A veteran fifth grade teacher, she has taught in the New Haven and Hampden school districts. And Genevieve also spent a decade at Concat, serving as CEO, Chief Operations Officer, and Director of Programs. She served as Director of Workforce Development at Social Impact Partners and is the founding principal of Increase Consulting, LLC. May I publicly say you're next? Great. Genevieve, please stand. She is being welcomed as the Executive Director for the New Haven Ecology Project and Common Ground High School leader.
Congratulations.
In addition to her professional work, she serves on several nonprofit boards in New Haven, including Emerge Connecticut, Cornell Scott Hill Health Center, Career Resources, Inc., and Youth to Youth Network Board. She also, in her somehow free time, I guess, hosts the popular podcast Jazzy Conversations with Teef and Gigi.
Absolutely incredible. We'll need to talk after this. We'll be networking. Next up, we have Luis Chavez Brummel. He is a New Haven native who believes that civic innovation strengthens communities, and he's incredibly right in that. Luis has facilitated civic innovation throughout his career as an AmeriCorps service member, co-creator of New Haven's Cultural Equity Plan, and nonprofit board member supporting New Haven's food system. Since 2016, Luis has worked at the New Haven Free Public Library and is now the deputy director. Luis's work in public libraries reaffirms his view that civic innovations such as public libraries improve their communities. And we're so excited to have you. If you'll please stand.
And not a judge, but an incredible part of the Dwight Hall staff team and our leader is Peter Crumlish, General Secretary and Executive Director for Dwight Hall at Yale. And Peter has served since 2013 in that role at Dwight Hall. And before that, he was in the Peace Corps as a teacher trainer in the Philippines, worked as a community organizer in the Bronx, and ran a nonprofit public-private partnership with the New York City Parks Department, building community engagement around parks and public spaces across the 5 boroughs of New York City. After graduating with a Master of Arts in Religion from Yale Divinity School, Peter returned to nonprofit work in New Haven, serving as the Director of Resource Development for Neighborhood Housing Services of New Haven, prior to leading Dwight Hall. Thank you, Peter. I also wish to acknowledge Lizzie Charavano and Xavier Burgett Foster, who are part of the Dwight Hall staff team. Lizzie is a student who's our volunteer coordinator lead at Dwight Hall. Talk to her about that. She'll be helping with audience choice and judges later on. And Xavier will be our timekeeper. We do not shut off our presenters, but we have about a total of 15 minutes, approximately 10 for a pitch and 5 for Q&A with the judges. And as you can see, we welcome people to use notes because we want them to share their substance and not worry about the presentation aspects. So without further ado, we are going to hear from our finalists.
I'm very excited to transition to Black Obsidian Health. Eric Ray, Terrence Riggins, and Don Sawyer, the floor is yours.
Now, was I supposed to get a
clicker.
A clicker? Oh. No problem. Thanks. Let's see. Hey, everybody. Hi. Good to see y'all. Good evening. My name is Eric, and I'm the founder of Black Obsidian Healing. So I'm going to invite you all to close your eyes for a second, or lower your lids if you feel more comfortable that way, and bring to mind an image of a Black man. Whether that be an image you find in media or the news, or maybe just someone in your life. Got it? Great. Open them back up. As a group, Black men in this country face exceptionally high rates of adverse life events. Things like anti-Black racism, poverty and underemployment, social isolation, poor health outcomes, and disengagement from positive social relationships are creating real challenges for Black men that affect our whole community. Black Obsidian Healing disrupts these trends. Now, take a look at this image of Black men. The world we are building is one where people are whole, healthy, and deeply interconnected. What you see in this picture is lux et veritas, light and truth. Some of you may recognize this as Yale's motto. At Black Obsidian, we're up to the same thing. Black Obsidian creates a lens through which the light of truth, of internal reflection, and deep fellowship with other men can lovingly come into focus. Our work helps Black men drop the societal expectations of individualism and access the power of healing that belonging to a community can foster. We support one another to acquire and exercise the tools that we need to move from surviving on our own to a communal practice of thriving. Now, I believe it's important to note that this is not solely about Black men. This, my friends, is about all of us. It may not often feel like it, but the fact is we belong to each other. In Sabine Selassie's book, You Belong, she writes, although we are not one, we are not separate. And although we are not separate, we are not the same. Recognizing our differences is part of what makes us human, but the contrivance of race has led to some devastating and even deadly outcomes for Black men. Now, ancient wisdom tells us that humanity is cut from the same cloth, and yet a very specific thread in that weave of our community is experiencing deep fraying. Black men are unraveling right before our eyes. The data show that Black men face higher risk of adverse mental health outcomes, and no joke, my friends, the stakes are indeed life and death. Social isolation increases the risk of heart disease by 29% and stroke by 32%. Black men often face unique social and economic pressures, especially at risk for chronic loneliness that can lead to depression, anxiety, and even a 26% higher risk of death. Factors like the global pandemic made worse an already awful problem. CDC reports that between 2018 and 2021, the suicide rate among Black Americans aged 10 to 24, babies, rose an alarming nearly 37%. An article from the University of Georgia reports that Black men are 4 times more likely to commit suicide than Black women. Black men are being overlooked, and it's literally killing us. Black Obsidian Healing is pursuing a bold dream. Imagine a world where Black men feel safe, where we view ourselves and our fellow members through the lenses that allow us to see light, truth, and love in each other. A place where, through relationships, trust and care are built into how we relate, where wisdom is shared in community, and where we support each other's thriving. I'd like to introduce Don, one of our members, who's going to tell us a bit about his experience with Black Obsidian.
Right, so there was a moment during the Black Obsidian retreat, a space that was created to focus on our mental, physical, and spiritual wellness, where I truly felt the meaning of joy. I stepped outside and I looked around, and to my left, there were brothers playing basketball. I looked to the right, and there were brothers tossing the frisbee, some were tossing the football, and in the middle, some of us were engaged in an intense game of cornhole. Now, it's probably not relevant, but I was destroying the competition. And so in that moment, I realized that this was Black boy joy. Black men laughing, playing, breathing, and just being. Without armor, without judgment. No performance, no masks, just connection and joy. Research tells us that Black boys aren't allowed to be boys for long. They're often adultified, seen as older, less innocent, and more threatening. But at that moment, outside the gaze of fear, we were reclaiming something. We were allowed to play, be vulnerable, be joyful, and be free. Like we were frolicking. But Black Obsidian made that possible. It gave us the space not just to heal, but to live. And that kind of joy, Black boy joy, that's revolutionary.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Don. While a sense of community and belonging can be found in many places, the fact is we do it differently. We offer the introspection of group therapy without the stigma. We offer practices that help us connect to our bodies, like sports or yoga, but without the competition or the awkward poses. We search for meaning and understanding, much like a faith practice, but without the rigidity of the dogma. Black Obsidian takes the best of these approaches and integrates them such that we are always actively tending to mind, body, and soul, integrating and aligning these with our values for our collective highest good. The weekly sessions offer wisdom sharing, meditation, and movement. Retreats offer deeper dives into wellness practices. One-on-one coaching is targeted and specific to individual needs, and workshops and other intensives are built around the emerging needs of the group. We are growing in wisdom. Our joy is blooming. Our community is vibrant, beautiful, tender, and mighty. I'd like to give Terrence an opportunity to come up and talk a little bit about his experience.
I've never considered myself a joiner. I've been too nomadic to be anywhere long enough. And I definitely wasn't going to join a men's group. I mean, I grew up in the care of women. I was quite in touch and am quite in touch with my feminine side. And yet I always masked it in the presence of men and in society in general. And having been incarcerated prior to arriving in New Haven, I definitely had enough of men. And vulnerability was definitely out of the question. Then I met Eric Ray, a conscious, empathetic, compassionate man who invited me to a Black Obsidian men's retreat. And over the past 5 years, and through our sessions and practices and community, I have been encouraged to engage authentically with community at large, my feminine aspect equally represented. I didn't expect that the trust and security of being, which I cultivated as a member of Black Obsidian, would compel me to be as boldly vulnerable and authentic in the telling of my story for the stage. And I truly believe that is the primary reason why Long Wharf Theater is producing my solo play as the final show of this, their 60th season.
Yeah. Thank you, Terrence. As you can see, we are invested. We have built this and sustained this beautiful space for 5 years through the pandemic and its aftermath. We stand together and we are asking you to stand with us. We are asking you to match our commitment with your investment. With your investment, we'll be able to engage consultants that will create sustainable, scalable, and replicable model for this work so that we can continue to serve Black men in my hometown of the city of New Haven. Elm City, stand up. In the long run, we want to bring this experience to locations across the country. We believe this work is locally rooted and widely replicated is part of how we build a better, stronger world with community at the center of it. So I want to close with the way that we close our meetings, which is with affirmations. So very quickly, if you have a wish, a dream, a goal you have for yourself, for somebody that you love, or for Black Obsidian, can we all say that out loud on the count of 3? After we say that, we're going to use the Yoruba word for so it shall be, which is ashe. Okay? So on the count of 3, you're going to say your affirmations, and then I'll count again 3, and we'll say ashe. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome. 1, 2, 3. Ashe. Ashe. Thank you.
So Eric, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So number one, salute to you
Thank you.
for trying to, well, not trying, for being a source of comfort, counsel, education, and creating spaces for people to really feel more confident about their Blackness and their being.
Yeah.
And so I want to say salute to you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
With that being said, the challenges and the problems that we're facing, that you're facing right now, trying to provide this space is huge in terms of your capacity to serve, especially if you're going to be as successful as we hope you are, right? So with that being said, how are you thinking about, one, is your program licensed? How are you thinking about your programming, your capacity, and if you're able to continue to bring more people in through lead generation? I want to hear a little bit more about the business model to this program and this service that you're offering.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for that question. Yeah, I'm thinking about it sort of through the lens of, if you can imagine, for example, let me put this last one up there. I just stopped clicking altogether. Okay. If you can think about like the model of a union, for example, there's like a national organization, and then there are locals in various locales. I'm sort of thinking about it in that way. So it's a subscription type model, so that we can sort of make sure that we're keeping the lights on and things are running regularly. I'm one person, so for me, it's like wanting to offer kind of training and facilitation and holding space for local people to be able to host in the same way that we do it here in New Haven, but throughout the country. So that's just sort of high level thinking about it, but that's sort of the direction that we're headed in.
Is there age focus in terms of the people that you're serving?
Yeah, currently we are just 18 and up, but we are producing some programming that is around rites of passages that will have that will skew a little bit younger. I think maybe 15 and up is probably in the area of where we'll be operating.
Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, I really loved your comment about us belonging to one another. And I guess my question is very similar in that instead of, you commenting on the scaling of the business model, I'd love to hear about you talking about scaling the non-business aspects of it, where you continue to foster the same belonging, but how that would look on a larger scale.
Yeah. It's really important, I think, to keep the cohort space actually very small. So in New Haven, we can probably sustain maybe 2 or 3 cohorts. Larger cities, there will be much more. But the idea being that, that members really feel a sense of belonging to each other. They know each other, they come week after week, get to know each other, and through that relationship, really be able to open up to one another. So the idea is like small groups that meet at specific times so that it keeps it more intimate.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks so much. We are going to now meet the Shellvive team, and we will hear from Daniel Yang and Frank Cheng. They're just getting mic'd up, so give them a moment. So are you going up as well? No. Oh, okay, good. Okay. Because I wasn't going to introduce you because you weren't going up, so okay.
Okay. Oh, 1 second. So, hi everyone, I'm Daniel. I'm currently a graduate student at Yale, and I was also an architect who have been working on water treatment project for over 3 years.
Yes, I'm Frank Cheng. I'm also a graduate student at Yale, and I worked in the supply chain operations at Philips before.
So we are representing Shellvive, and our mission is to provide safer water through the seashells. And the inspiration behind our project began during an oyster tasting event, where we had the opportunity to meet Todd, who is the head of the Connecticut Oyster Recycling Center Initiative in Connecticut. And during our conversation, he shared with us something that's an alarming issue currently happening on the New Haven coastline. He said, if you go along the Connecticut coast, you can find a 3 feet high, 50 feet long walls of the shells piling on the beach, going to the waste. And one of the reasons causing this alarming issue is the rapid spread of an invasive species known as a sleeper shell, which is seen in the bar here. And this is one of the pictures that's showing the public beach on the south of the New Haven. And what you are seeing here is not a beach that's filled with a beautiful sand, but covered by the sleeper shells. Because of the rising ocean temperature, these sleeper shells burn quick and they die quick. And the waves constantly pushing them towards the coastline. And this phenomenon not only causes ecological damage to the nature oyster beds, but also lead to the infinite cleanup costs from the community. And if we don't deal with this situation in the next 3 to 5 years, those sleeper shells will aggregate into piles and piles, and we will no longer have the opportunity to access and enjoy our beautiful beach of the New Haven area. And the second escalating problem is the oyster shell waste. There are half tons of the oyster shell waste were produced from the New Haven restaurant every week. In total, 26 tons of the oyster shell are discarded into landfills every year. And with little effort to recycle those non-degradable oyster shells, we are not only losing a valuable nature resources, but also add up to the greenhouse gas emission.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. So with all these shells, Daniel and I got to do some research, and we're wondering, what can we do with all of this? And we actually found out that shell has a really magical power. So it's made of 95% calcium carbonate. And what that is, it's essentially calcium. It's the supplement that you and I can take every day. And what it does is it's really good at strong heavy metal filtration. So it's really good at adsorbing things like lead or cadmium or arsenic out of our drinking water. And lastly, it's really good at it's 2 to 3 times longer in lifespan than activated carbon, which is the current market solution, and we'll talk to you a little bit about what that is. So what ShellVive aims to do is, if you imagine a Brita filter, those little particles inside of it, we're going to replace it with our modified oyster shell product. And our proprietary method has several distinct advantages. It's natural and untoxic because it's made from shells that, like these ones here. It's also really good at reducing the acidity of water. It's also really high efficiency in filtering out these heavy metals out of our water waste streams. It's also reusable. So like Brita filters can be reused over and over again to filter out these heavy metals, leading to a sustainable design. And to orient you a little bit about what activated carbon is, it's what currently is in Brita filters, for example. It's made of things like sawdust or coconut shells. And in the process of making them, only 20% of it is saved. That means that 80% of it's lost. So 1 ton of it, only 200 kilograms of it is saved. And in the process of making them, it releases 6,000 kilograms per ton in CO2 emissions. This is in contrast to our product, where 75% of the output is saved. And in the process of it, only 120 kilograms per ton is released, leading to New Haven's Climate Emergency Resolution 2019, wanting to reduce greenhouse gas emission overall in the city. Beyond the environmental benefits, though, our product is really good, and from the financial side of it as well, delivering over half the cost, up to 70% lower costs across household use or industrial use, depending on the use case scenario. So what does this mean for the city of New Haven? We have this distinct advantage in the market we're going to bring to the city so that we can bridge communities together. And how we do that is from the supply itself. Like Daniel talked about with CORR, it's an oyster shell collection initiative across the Connecticut state that we will source our not only oyster shells, but slipper shells all on the Connecticut seacoast and right here in the greater New Haven area. We, ShellVive, become the manufacturers. We're already incorporated here in New Haven, and we aim to build processing facilities right here, creating dozens of new green jobs in the next few years. And lastly, we'll sell to our local water providers that we all drink from, the Regional Water Authority and the Greater New Haven Water Pollution Control Authority. And just to share with you a little bit about our timeline, we have already developed a minimum viable product. We actually have a video we'll show you about what our product does in just a second. And right now, we're focusing on pilot testing it and developing the next generation of our product. Over the next 1 to 2 years, we'll continue to broaden our partnership and community adoption, meaning we'll expand to local manufacturers here and beyond the Connecticut state and hopefully the New England area. And beyond that, diversifying our products beyond commercial, industrial, and household use, expand to commercial use, and along the US coastline as well. And we're the right team to do this. We have a capable and complementary team. Besides Daniel and I, we're aided by a PhD student at Yale University, Aidan Meese, specializing in water filtration. And also Sarah Zong, who's in the audience. She has extensive experience in venture capital and investment banking and helping to lead our fundraising efforts. As well as a deep bench of advisors supporting us. Everyone from Professor Kim, who is an expert in water filtration at Yale, to Justin Silver, who's our venture advisor, is a serial entrepreneur, and to Gregory Lewis, who is with the Small Business Development Corporation in Connecticut. So we have all these people believing in us, already gaining traction, and they're ready to scale with us as we move our product forward. And also, we have a network of New Haven-based partners. This is something that's really important to us as Daniel and I become more integrated into the New Haven community. Besides the R&D efforts led by Professor Kim, we're also partnered with Xylem. And we connected with their VP of Innovation, which is, and Xylem is a Fortune 500 company that specializes in water filtration technology. And they're excited for us to join their incubator program next year, demonstrating interest and sort of confidence in our product. With supply chain, we'll work with CORR, our industrial customers that we talked about, like the Regional Water Authority. And we're already in the accelerator programs here in Tsai City, as well as the Yale Center for Business and Environment. So we have all these resources available to us, and we're ready to continue to scale up. So what's the $25,000 of the New Haven Civic Innovation Prize? What it will help us immediately do is to become pilot testing. We're already in talks of securing letters of intent with partners right here in the Greater New Haven area, electroplating manufacturers. And once we get to $25,000, we can begin the pilot testing, build credibility, and scale up to bigger customers like the Regional Water Authority to begin testing our solution with them. And so this is what we want to leave with the audience here. We will help New Haven become the Shell Sustainability Capital of the US. We all know New Haven's pizza is really great, and it is the pizza capital of the US, right? Despite what other people may say. But we hope that in the future, this will become a tagline that New Haven will be proud to call its own. And just a part of our vision, we envision that shells will become such a big part of the Connecticut state that special license plates will be designed for it, to really reflect how important shells will become for Connecticut and for the US. And this is a video we have quickly demonstrating a feature of a product. So we'll play it right now.
This is our Brita filter. And this is our modified oyster shell. And these are copper sulfate, heavy metal. And as you see, as we pour them into our filters, clear water will come out of the right one versus the blue water that still has copper sulfate from the Brita filter.
So yeah, who would have thought that, right? We didn't think too that seashells would be so good at providing safe and clean water. We hope you're as excited about us as Shell as we are. We have the team, we have the technology, we have the plan. We invite you to join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is very exciting. I think this is a very exciting way of
Yeah,
looking at a problem and
sure.
delivering a solution. One thing that I'm very curious about is just what the regulations or kind of partnerships that you envision needing to either go through or kind of flesh out as you reach past the last stage where you indicate the beyond in the timeline.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so certifications for water safety, it's called NSF ANSI, and it's something that we're currently in the process of already applying to it. This is along with our current patents that we're applying for this as well. So we're definitely well aware of this, and we're on track to having this certified to be used. Does that answer your question?
Or you have the second question about like when it's reached to a saturation and how we're gonna deal with it. Is that your second question?
No, more so
okay.
more so about the regulation.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Great. Thank you for an amazing presentation and just the significant environmental benefits that you shared in this presentation. So thank you for that and for the innovation of it all. My question for you is really about sustainability and the harvesting of the slipper shells. Mm-hmm. Is there any danger of over-harvesting or any potential negative impact from doing this?
No, not at all. Yeah, if you go along the coast, and Daniel will talk about it too, on the beach coast, you'll see all these waves of slipper shells, and they constantly get hit back from the waves. They'll never disintegrate too. So it's this huge problem. Yeah.
Just a extra knowledge in a worldwide. Last year, the world's the shell waste has been reaching from 16 million tons of the shells waste to 20 million tons of shell waste. So these shells are growing increasing speed because of the rising temperature, especially for these ones. They're growing really fast and they die really fast. And what they're doing is like they grow up on each other and they occupy the oyster bed as well, like the shells of the oyster. So oyster, basically, they cannot grow upon each other, like what people are thinking along the line and sound. So they are disrupting the oyster farming at the same time. So because of that crazy speed, we kind of getting a sustainable supply chain in certain way to solve the problem. Yeah.
Yes, it creates our supply chain.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll just make this really quickly. Can you please share how you anticipate kind of broader community adoption, maybe engaging restaurants or different things you're alluding to?
Yeah.
So the current adoption, the current community of like sourcing, we're coming from the Oyster Shell Recycling Center, the Connecticut Oyster Shell Recycling Center, based on what they are receiving every day plus, and we plan to expand along the coastline city because they have a kind of like a network from the Great New Haven to the Rhode Island and even to the New Orleans, they are like connected together as a network. So within that kind of like substantial supply chain and issues coming up on the coastlines, I think that's kind of like expansion opportunity. And here at New Haven, I think we should start here because we have one of the most serious issues regarding this invasive species, because we have the pocket topography within on the ocean area, like Island Ecozone,
Yeah, and CORR is actually already partnering with New Haven restaurants, collecting oyster shells, yes, and other types of shells. And we also hope that in the future, we can set up these recycling centers in major supermarkets and things like that, where people who eat oysters can donate them, and then we can actually send them back a water filter in the future.
And actually, I have a very interesting idea, but we haven't putting that forward yet. It's like if you give us 3 shells, like big oyster shells, and we can make it towards the filters for the home use later on. The only thing you need to pay is a container cost.
Yeah,
yes. It's kind of like a marketing strategy. I didn't put it in the slide. I think it's too forward. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Yang, Mr. Chang. I will be collecting oyster shells and I'll see you afterward. We will now welcome Enrich Health to the stage. We'll have Dr. Monique Rainford. Thank you so much.
I need a clicker, sorry.
I think they walked off with it. Pass it on.
Thanks. Let me see.
No
Which is
problem.
just forward. Sorry, let me see.
This one is forward.
Okay.
And this is back.
Okay. Thank you. Oops. Oh. Hi, I'm Dr. Monique Rainford, the CEO and co-founder of Enrich Health. We're specialized maternity health and wellness centers delivering exceptional outcome with innovative community-based care. So I have been an obstetrician gynecologist for more years than I care to admit. Let me share with you what it's like in the delivery room from the eyes of an obstetrician. So we're in the room with mommy, maybe daddy or partner, a nurse. And then the patient has been pushing, sometimes for hours, sometimes only for a few minutes. So we see the baby's head, and we know it's almost time, we're ready. And we say, push, and oh, this baby has so much hair. And then push again, and then we have a beautiful little baby who cries very loudly. I put that baby on mommy's belly, and the room is so filled with joy, it is palpable. Sometimes, however, a mother pushes, and the baby is so tiny, and there is no cry. And then we have to briskly hand the baby to the pediatrician's team. And all of us on the care team and the parents are hoping that the baby will be okay. This little baby has to be whisked away to neonatology intensive care unit. And if the doctor remembers, and if it is safely possible, the mother gets to kiss that baby, sometimes for the last time. And sometimes things go terribly wrong for the mother. And then a lot of doctors and nurses and equipment rush into the room. And we try everything we can to save that mother. Sometimes we can take her back to the OR. But sometimes, no matter what we do, no matter what our best efforts are, it's too late. She is gone. I admit that even with our very best efforts, we cannot prevent all these tragedies. But in the United States of America, we do not do our best. We have the worst maternal mortality and preterm birth weights in the developed world. 80% of our maternal deaths are preventable. And according to research, 58% of preterm births could be prevented. There is no color to tragedy. However, there is a color to the communities that bear the tragedies the most. Black women are most affected by these tragedies than any other race or ethnicities. More likely to die, more likely to suffer life-threatening injuries, and most likely to have a preterm baby. And we're no better in Connecticut. Perhaps the morbidity difference is not as bad, but the infant mortality rate for Black women is 3 times higher than for white women in Connecticut, and the preterm birth rate far exceeds the rate for white women. And then in New Haven, right where we are, the infant mortality rate, and to be clear, that's the number of deaths per 1,000 live births, is 9. 3 times the rate for white babies in Connecticut, despite our proximity to Yale New Haven Hospital, a world-class hospital. But we have a solution. It's the enriched solution. Prenatal care with a community. Our patients will have continuity with their chosen providers. We will have racially concordant and or culturally sensitive obstetrician and midwives. Each of our mothers will be supported in pregnancy and in labor with a doula, and the mothers who need it will have access to community health workers. Our visits will be 90 minutes long, and what does that allow? It allows education from peers. The peers are 8 to 10 women in each group. It allows education, learning about lifestyle factors like healthy eating, nutrition, exercise, stress reductions. It allows bonding. It allows community building. In addition, we will have wraparound services to address non-medical risk factors. And our payment model will be value-based care so that when our patients have excellent outcome, we'll also be rewarded financially. But only when our patients have excellent outcome will we see those financial rewards. And why group prenatal care? Because frankly, it is effective with higher maternal satisfaction, greater prenatal knowledge, and more adequate prenatal care. Not to mention the improved health outcomes, the reductions in preterm birth, low birth weight, and low birth weight is another leading cause of infant mortality, reduction in NICU admissions, and in this excellent study done here at Yale, 50% of the participants were Black and 60% were publicly insured. We will have robust data collection. Why? Not only do we want to show that we are constantly improving and doing the best for mothers, but we also want to be able to negotiate with payers so that we can have these improved value-based payment rates. And we will have donors who care about this mission, and we can show them that we deliver on our promise. Of course, I am not doing this alone. Dr. Andrea Lee is my co-founder. We founded this company approximately 2.5 years ago. We actually met in residence, again, more years ago than I will admit today, or almost ever. Cynthia Hayes is head of doula services. She's a doula, lactation consultant, and a leading maternal health advocate in the state. She's product director for Doulas for Connecticut. And among our team members is Violet Kimball, a neuroscience PhD student right here at Yale. We've had a number of advisors over the years, but I want to mention and highlight 4 strategic advisors. Daniel Dawes, a leading policymaker in this country. Amanda Skinner, the president and CEO of Planned Parenthood right here in Connecticut. Linda Goler-Blunt, president and CEO of Black Women's Health Imperative, and she's actually going on to another leadership role in a nonprofit as president, as CEO. And Dr. Hugh Taylor, who is the chief of OBGYN right here in the Yale New Haven system and chair of obstetrics, gynecology, and reproductive science right here at Yale Medicine. $70 million, almost $70 million are spent each year on childbirth. And that does not, billion, not million, $70 billion. And that does not include the $1 billion that are spent by mothers on prenatal wellness products. Or it doesn't include the $25 billion that are spent to care for preterm babies. If we're able to fulfill our mission and achieve a 36% reduction in preterm birth for Black mothers all over America, we will actually save $1 billion at least to the system. However, a beautiful story or a beautiful idea is just an idea or a story if we do not have financial sustainability. And we have a robust business model so that we can ensure our sustainability and financial success. As I mentioned, it is structured on value-based payments, shared savings with insurance companies, prenatal wellness products that we'll offer for patients on a consumer, business-to-consumer sales basis. It also includes scaling, because we plan to go to 17 different centers by year 10. We will start right here in New Haven County, and this will be our flagship location. Just a little, this had a little music and I'm not hearing it, but just a little highlights about our new space. It's kind of fun to dance to, but oh. We're opening soon. We're aware of our competitors, but frankly, none of our competitors are offering the full range of service that we plan to offer. And all of our competitors use the traditional model of care, but the traditional model of care has never worked for everyone. And it has never worked well for Black women because these disparities have been present since history of disparities has been recorded. With the Haven Civic Innovation Prize, what we can do is directly offer wraparound services to members of the New Haven community so that they can have transportation services to and from our center, which is a little down the road in Hamden, so that they can have childcare support so that they can attend the visits, so they have the time and to focus on their care during pregnancy. So these do not present barriers to them getting the very best prenatal care that we can offer them. We will also it will assist us in providing salary support for community health workers exclusively for New Haven patients. Of course, Things take time. This is a little bit of what we have been doing over the last few years to work to get to this point. Lots of moving parts. And we are very aware that we do have to acquire customers to make this a reality. And so we've formed strong partnerships with community-based organizations. The Black Maternal Health Project is an annual event now in its second year, would be host April 12th, and they've invited us to present on Enrich Health. We've partnered with Doulas for Connecticut. We were at a graduation ceremony for doulas and community health workers in Bridgeport, Soul Therapy Massage, and other advocacy groups. As I mentioned, we have a strong collaboration with Yale New Haven Hospital. Through our chair, babies will be delivered at Yale New Haven Hospital, and as we expand throughout Connecticut, also at Bridgeport Hospital. We have started engagement with medical practices in the area. Pediatric practice is right next door, a Yale New Haven pediatric practice, and they're excited about our arrival to send us patients. And of course, social media campaign, which we have begun. Will you join us in making New Haven the first city in America to eliminate disparities in maternal health? Thank you.
First of all, thank you so much for the compassion with which you speak about this topic. I, in my own personal life, have experienced that and been touched by these issues of infant mortality. We're super short on time, so I'll jump directly in. Can you talk a bit more about your plans for sustainability and expansion, given the significant shortages in healthcare workforce? Are those issues that you're facing?
So we already have our workforce lined up, so we'll be for the first center. And I mean, people graduate every year, every 2 years. We can train new graduates. We know that there are many graduates who believe in a mission like ours, and that will attract them to work with us. So I'm actually not super concerned, although I have to be aware of the issues. We have an obstetrician lined up in addition to myself and my business partner doing work. So we have our workforce lined up, and we'll continue to recruit. But recruiting is not overnight, and we're aware of that. So we're continually working to recruit people here. Connecticut, we have the workforce lined up, but Chicago, we're going to start our recruiting and continue that.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for that incredibly powerful address. We'll now welcome up our final group, Wealth Beacon Group, who will be presented by Amir and Yvette Glenn. So if you all will please come up to the stage.
Hello, 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 everyone. Oh, I lost the mic already. How you guys doing today? All right? All right. I'm a little lively, so you guys, forgive me. All right. So, let's see. How do you move this? This is forward, this is back? This is forward, this is back? Okay. All right. Well, my name is Amir Glenn.
I'm Yvette Glenn, and we are Wealth Beacon Group Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit based in New Haven, working to combat homelessness and poverty. Today, we're sharing how we're addressing the long-term impact of the housing crisis made worse by COVID. We provide safe, affordable housing and wraparound services to individuals and families in Greater New Haven area. Since launching just over a year ago, we've housed 6 families, including 15 children, removing them from shelter and into our apartments. All of our properties are privately owned by us. We partner with the CAN Network and other local organizations to support those who are unhoused or at risk of being unhoused. Through these partnerships, we offer financial literacy, wellness support, career training, employment services, education, and child care resources to help families build stability and self-sufficiency.
All right. And so both of us were born right here in New Haven. We are as New Haven as Yale and pizza. I mean, if you want to get a little deeper, we are, as New Haven, is running red lights.
I grew up in the hill section of New Haven and lived in the same house my entire life.
I've lived in every neighborhood in New Haven. I graduated from Hill House, and my wife graduated from Cross. Like, come on. It's all about the house. It's all about the house.
Not too much. Now, most people hear Wealth Beacon and think it's all about money, but it's more than that.
Yeah, so, you always know someone who's thriving in their lane. Like that one cousin who he's super into fitness, like Arthur. Back in the day, my man was jacked. But it's kind of like a friend too. The friends that were in high school that, they always had mental health issues, but once they got a little spirituality and got a little therapy, now they're like the picture of Zen. That's what a wealth beacon is.
Someone who accumulates a wealth of knowledge and shines as a beacon so brightly in their light that it attracts others.
But for us, it all started with one defining moment. Meet Brandy, knowledge, and wisdom. Brandy and her children had been in the shelter for nearly 6 months, but they were struggling with unstable housing for a few years. In 2022, Brandy lost her job due to COVID, which led her into eviction. She then moved with her grandmother, hoping for some stability, but soon faced eviction and being unhoused again.
And here we come. We've been landlords for nearly a decade when Christian Community Action approached us about housing families experiencing homelessness. These families had Section 8 vouchers, but many had prior evictions or poor credit. And we decided to give it a try. It was Thanksgiving weekend in 2023, just weeks before Christmas. The apartment had been approved by Section 8, and now the family was coming to see it. And that's when we met Brandy, knowledge, and wisdom.
As we showed Brandy the apartment and how to use the smart thermostat, her kids ran through the room, laughing and playing. I always get emotional during this part. Then knowledge kind of froze mid-run. He looked me dead in my face and he said, I asked God for one thing this Christmas. It was my own bedroom. He thanked me, gave me a hug, and it ran back off playing. I looked at my wife just like I'm looking at her right now, and I said, this is the work we're going to do.
That moment is when Wealth Beacon Group Foundation was born, a mission rooted in 3 core pillars: housing with a purpose, instability to stability, and from homelessness to home ownership.
But how did Brandy get here? I call it the Asians. The problems and causes of homelessness and poverty. The first one is kind of the hot word, hot topic: gentrification. When investors are pricing out longtime residents, pushing families out of the neighborhoods they call home for generations. The next one is housing inflation. Since COVID, Connecticut rents have surged by 27%, outpacing the national average of 24.2%. Families that have housing vouchers are still ending up in shelters because the market is shutting them out. The next one is stabilization. Without consistent housing, mental health support, or job opportunities, families are caught in a cycle of poverty and homelessness. And the last one, education. Many families were never taught how to budget, build credit, or navigate their financial systems. As Socrates says, no one does wrong willingly. If people knew better, they'll do better.
What we did for Brandy and how our 3 pillars impact lives. Pillar 1, housing with purpose. We provided Brandy and her family with stable, affordable housing when others said no. Right now, Connecticut has 362 families in shelters. 65 families alone in New Haven have housing vouchers, but landlords are turning them away. That's where we step in. Pillar 2, instability to stability. We connected Brandy to wellness support, job training, and mentorship, helping her move from instability to stability through consistent wraparound care. Pillar 3, homelessness to home ownership. Through Shine Academy, launched on March 11th, 2025, in partnership with Connecticut Money School. We offer free online classes in credit, budgeting, taxes, banking, and self-investment. Shine gives tenants like Brandy and the broader community the tools to break the cycle and achieve long-term financial stability and home ownership.
As Brandy leans into our pillars, her journey is like learning the marimba. So that's why I know it's how to play marimba, huh? Each note shaky at first, but with time and support, she finds her rhythm like Judge Emily, turning practice into harmony. Our families go from surviving the noise to composing lives filled with stability and self-sufficiency and success. So the next one is my favorite. I didn't even move these things. Let me move it all the way through. I got into it really good. Wealth Beacon's viability. So our viability is also our strength. We're operating in the black already. But our real estate portfolio must grow to meet the rising demands caused by the COVID housing crisis. We're combining grant funding, private donors, strategic partnerships, steady rental income, and the New Haven Civic Innovation Prize to fuel our mission. By leveraging housing vouchers, we've created a reliable, sustainable model that reduces reliance on grants. Expanding the Wealth Beacon way. Our goal is to acquire 100 housing units in the next 5 to 7 years, which would fully fund our growing operation and staff and allow us to scale. We're ready to expand our model throughout Connecticut, eventually spreading Wealth Beacon across the country, bringing stable housing and wraparound services the Wealth Beacon way. The next one is diversifying our purpose. So we also plan to diversify by launching a 24-hour daycare in the next 2 years to support our tenants with childcare and job opportunities while serving the broader community and adding more revenue. And then the last one is Wealth Beacons. We're inspiring tenants to grow into Wealth Beacons. Isn't it just powerful, it's sustainable. When tenants share their journey through platforms like New Haven's Cultural Equity, they don't just find their voice, they strengthen ours. These stories create long-term community values, cultural capital, and future funding opportunities. And with champions like Judge Lewis, making sure that they're seen and shared, we ensure our impact lasts for beyond housing, building viability, credibility, and legacy.
45% will go towards expanding our Housing with a Purpose and Welcome Home campaigns. Housing with Purpose campaign allows us to provide beautiful modern apartments, but our Welcome Home campaign ensures these apartments are equipped with essential furniture and household goods. 45% will go towards operational support, strengthen program management, support day-to-day operations, expand capacity, upgrade office infrastructure with necessary equipment, and ensure efficient service delivery. And 10% will go towards to enhance Shine Academy. Shine stands for Smart Habits Inspiring Next Level Excellence. It's our financial literacy program designed for both our tenants and the broader community. We're proud to say classes are already in session with a current attendance rate of 45%. Our goal is to expand Shine's reach by offering in-person sessions and exploring incentives to encourage even greater participation.
Might I add, currently tonight we were here, but our Shine Academy class is happening right now. So our last slide as we close, we want you to remember Wealth Beacon and not only that, but the 3 pillars that we stand on. 3 promises we make to every family we serve: housing with purpose, instability to stability, and homelessness to home ownership. We challenge you to keep watching us because when Brandy buys her first home, it won't just be her win. It'll be proof that Wealth Beacon models works. Thank you so much for your time. Please scan our QR code so you can go to our website and you can see some more of the work that we're doing. And like my wife said not to do this, but I always have to do this. Do you guys know what the best nation in the world is? A donation. So if you go there and you can scan right there and go ahead and help donate. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wealth Beacon team. This is Judge Luis. So I'll make a very quick question. How do you plan to support your residents as they transition from homelessness to home ownership, especially respecting the properties? I know that's always a big issue, especially with those who are unhoused, vulnerable populations, to live in conditions that are less than ideal. How do we make sure that we keep these properties maintained once they become homeowners?
That's where you want to say. Okay, so we do monthly inspections, but not only that, my wife has been working as a caseworker. So she goes in, she checks in, and she finds out different things with different needs. This is the reason why the Welcome Home campaign started. We found out that one of our tenants was sleeping on an air mattress, and we were like, "Nah, we'll buy you a bed. That's nothing." So we're trying to make sure that we're staying on top of it. That's the reason why we need the fund, so we can expand, so that she's just not stuck doing all of the work.
Thank you for the work that you're doing. And I don't know where you got that picture from.
The internet is alive.
But I will say, that's how you have to look growing up in Newark versus New Haven. But I love what you're doing. And it's interesting because you have a pretty complex business model. You have a real estate acquisition and rental business, but you're also providing these essential services so that people can transition. My question is, how are you going to sustain both of those models? Because just the real estate acquisition piece, maintenance piece, rental piece is something needs its own department.
Yep.
And then you're running a program that will help change these people's lives and give them the education and tools they need to potentially own a home or rent something that's affordable.
Yeah.
So I'm asking, how are you managing that operational infrastructure, and have you thought about starting a fund for the acquisition, at least for the acquisition of the properties?
Yeah, so absolutely, we definitely have the fund. We're starting a fund to be able to, and that's also our housing with purpose. That's what that fund directly goes to, is that portion. But the other, question of how are we doing the support portion of it, is we're partnering with our community partners. Why reinvent the wheel when we can just go ahead and find out, oh, so you are doing things to help people get GEDs? Hey, come on, let's come on. You're wealth beacon. Oh, you're into, you're into helping black men. Hey, black opedescent. Hey, come on, let's partner together. And again, this is what we're doing completely. My wife has been doing such a wonderful job, and she's connected us with so many different folks and different nonprofits. Go ahead, Queen.
So to speak to partnerships, we actually are engaged in partnerships with the local shelters and the CAN network, which is a coordinated access network. And that is how we currently have our tenants. And we want it to be purposeful and intentful about providing tenancy and housing to these families that are in shelters. As far as services, we actually partner with a lot of community organizations, and we have partnerships with them so that we can provide the wraparound services that we currently have. So that looks like housing. Beyond the housing, it looks like career training, job employment, child care resources. So we've partnered with Christian Community Action, with the Rise Center. Liberty Bank is going to take over our home ownership portion in education. We are partnered with ACT. They have two programs that we're with, which is called Bank On and Connecticut Money School. We do the financial literacy through them. And we have recently partnered with Workforce Alliance. So our partnerships continue to grow so that we can provide the services necessary so we can focus on real estate. And what my husband didn't tell you is he actually has Glen Properties.
All right, so I do property management.
He does property management.
Yeah, so I do property management. I'm a realtor. I work for Yale University. We have 6 children. We have a dog, and we have a grandbaby.
We do. It's a true story.
So we're busy. So
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yvette, stay on stage with us, please. I suspected you had kids because that was a great dad joke.
Oh, yeah. Amazing.
And Amir was actually a little bit nervous, so let's give him another hand along with Wealth Beacon Group, because he's usually on the other side of these productions. You may have seen him around Yale because he works with audiovisual over at Science Park and around campus. So great to see him come out as an applicant for the Civic Innovation Prize and to be part of this. All the teams, please, come on back up. Judges, we dismiss you. You have 10 minutes to do your deliberation. Good luck with that. And we welcome everybody to stay, grab some refreshments. We will also be distributing some audience choice voting cards. And when you complete them, folks in the black pullovers will be distributing them. Thanks, Startup Yale team. And when you complete them, you can put them in the ballot boxes up here. But stick around for some questions. If anybody has a burning question to ask, just raise your hand. I'll bring this microphone to you. And those of you on stage can use this microphone and pass it around to answer the question. So just direct to whatever team you want or to all of them. And let's see, do we have a question already? I know Allie has one waiting.
Again, just thank you all so much for your incredible work. You guys are doing amazing things in New Haven, and I'm so excited to have even been on that same stage with you. I do want to ask, though, are you or do you all plan to become 501c3 nonprofits? I'd love if you all would share more about your plans for that. Thank you.
So, I think you have the last power-ups left. Oh, that's all right. It's okay. Check, 1, 2, 1, 2. So we are actually a 501c3. So we received our 501c3 status back in February and went back all the way to August. So yeah, we are a 501c3 nonprofit.
The short answer is not sure yet. I think that's part of what, if I'm awarded, I'd like to sort of dig into with consultants and folks to really think through what would be the best model for us.
Very honest, thank you.
Shellvive is currently incorporated for profit, but we aim to become a certified B corporation once we reach that stage.
So we have a fiscal sponsor, which I won't name right here, we also, that's with an aim to develop our nonprofit arm. We will be for-profit, but nonprofit arm. And those wraparound services aren't always covered, so we want that stream so that we can fund it and also provide more services to the patients we serve.
Thank you all so much. Are there any other questions?
Other questions from the audience? You can ask questions of each other, too.
Ooh.
Can we partner? Like that, that's like I said, that's going to be huge. All of our actual tenants are women, and I just recently heard that one of them might be pregnant. So this is something that I definitely want to talk. And then I do have I have another tenant from one of my partners, and he's struggling right now. So he definitely needs some mental health. And he needs some brotherhood. I reached out to him and asked him could he want to come to church, but I would love for both of us to end up showing at the Black. And then what you guys are doing are amazing. I need that right now at my house. Again, we have 6 kids and they're disgusting. And so we need to be able to clean the water in our house, so.
Yeah, I would love to pay your kids to pick a shell for us.
So I had a quick question for Shelvive. We saw how effective your solution is for heavy metals. What about chlorine and other contaminants?
So right now, in our experiment, the result shows we are actually same efficiency in terms of the Brittas filter in terms of absorbing the chlorine. So yeah, we don't have super advantage effect on that perspective, but heavy metal definitely, yeah.
Thank you.
I was so delighted to be here tonight and hear all of the amazing work that's already happening. So I just want to thank you all for presenting, but really thank you for the work that you have done and will continue to do. And it makes me, I love New Haven, and it breaks my heart, and I love New Haven, and you're a lot of the reason, so thank you. I do want to say to you folks, you have amazing partners with Shelby, but do you know about the Sound School, which is a small high school right here in New Haven? It's a New Haven public high school, but it's also a VOTech high school, and their mission is marine studies. And I think it would be such a cool thing if you hooked up with that high school, and I would be happy to make the introduction because I think some of the students could learn so much from you all They do, all of their curriculum is around marine studies. They do have a fisheries program. They do work with oyster shelling. Some of the kids come out with captain boats license and such. But in terms of the science and the practice, I think that would be so cool for them.
Yeah, definitely. We'll find you right after.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi. Again, echoing what she just said, thank you so much for everything you do. My question is for Black Obsidian. What is your ambition? What's the scale that you hope to achieve? How many members? And, just what kind of a movement is this?
Yeah, how many members? I don't know, how many black men are there? All of them. I think this just feels like it's so important, like nationwide. This is happening everywhere, and the idea in terms of the model is really small groups, intimate groups, like lots of them throughout the country. So it really has this, as I mentioned, a sort of union feel to it, where there's a national organization, and that would be sort of rooted here in New Haven, but sort of around the country with smaller local chapters doing the work. So. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I just want to remind people to please bring your votes into the ballots. We'll leave one here on this edge, and we'll leave one on that edge as well, because we do want to tally these in time for tonight. If anybody needs a pen, come find Zoe. There she is. Excellent. Yeah, and I know people are completing them now, so this is last call for audience choice votes. So please flag us down if you don't make it to the box, or if you need us to collect it for you, or if you need a ballot still. Put it right in the box. Thank you. Okay, great. I also just want to point out Terrence is sitting over here, and Terrence has a play coming up that he's written, Unbecoming Tragedy. So I wanted to give a plug because it's being produced by Long Wharf Theater. I think it's in the Off-Broadway with Collective Consciousness Theater. So thank you. So talk to Terrence about that. I know Dr. Rainford has an opening coming up soon for one of the centers that she was talking about in her presentation. Anything else you all want to plug that you want to talk about?
Shine Academy, like I said, is going on as we speak, and it's not only for our attendants; it's open to the broader base, and it teaches kind of the basics of the basics of finances. So like the first class started off with learning about taxes, learning who FICA is and why are they taking half your money. The other portions were about budgeting, banking, credit repair, and I think tonight we're going to be talking about investing in the stock market and all that good stuff. So again, so Shine Academy, if you go to our website, it's like right up there, so wealthbeacon.org. You can go right up there, and Shine Academy is there. You can scan, and it is free. So it is free. So anybody can join. Thank you. Any other questions?
I also want to be sure, I know many of you are registered already for tomorrow. There is a full slate of events tomorrow. You can find the agenda online at startup.yale.edu. In addition to announcing our Civic Innovation Prize winner or winners tonight and Audience Choice Prize, those winners are invited to come tomorrow at 4 p.m. For the closing event, where all the winners for tomorrow's prizes will be announced. And tomorrow's run-up, just to let you know, starts right here in this space, as early as 9:30 a.m. Thank you. Thanks, Josie. So the Planetary Solutions Prize will be here. The Manolo Sanchez Prize will be in the red room, which is down the hallway over there. The Rothberg Catalyzer Prize will be in the yellow room. And there's also a panel on breaking barriers, women in entrepreneurship. So a lot of exciting events right off the bat at 9:30. A break and then presentations about raising capital as first-time founder, search engine optimization without borders, the founder's guide to omnichannel SEO. I'm not sure I know what that means, but somebody here does. A workshop on cultivating your personal board of directors, investing in yourself to accelerate your startup success, and of course, mentor office hours. So tons of things going on. Let people know about it. Shuttles running from campus. And also all these events are free and open to the whole community. So invite people to register at startup.yale.edu. Come to this wonderful venue, Hotel Marcel. And you're very welcome to stick around, have some refreshments. We're waiting on an announcement of winners. And I didn't bring, Eric, you didn't bring your drums, did you? So Eric's a very good drummer. So unfortunately we can't do a drum roll unless HB has a drum roll cue somewhere in there. But we're still waiting on the judges to finish their very difficult deliberations. So hang tight, stick around, and any other questions. But I don't want to force you all to stand on stage. So feel free to take a break yourselves. Give a hand to everybody. Our wonderful presenters and teams are here. Everybody feel ready? Okay, I will pass it off to Allie, who will now announce our audience choice winner first.
Our audience choice award winner is Black Obsidian Health. Yeah, let's move over. Yeah. Yeah. Of course, congratulations. All right, we'll now announce our second place winner. Peter, if you'll do the honors. In second place, we have Shelviv. Congratulations, guys. All right, and now our third place winner. Congratulations to the Wealth Beacon Group. Let's go in front of the screen. Sorry. Thank you so much, guys. Congratulations. And now the moment we've all been waiting for, our grand prize winner is Enrich Health. Great job, doctor. Wait, let's scoot it this way. Yeah, sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you again to all of our judges, all of our sponsors, and thank you all so much for being here tonight. We are incredibly proud of all of these groups. Have a great night. Thank you, guys.